Just a week out from the first debate of the cycle between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. So how are investors preparing for the matchup? Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman is here with the breakdown. Rick, what are investors taking a look at here?
Lots of things. Tax policy, tariff policy, who would be better handling with inflation, which we've talked about recently. I mean, I think one of the big things that is really starting to come into focus are the Trump tax cuts that expire at the end of 2025. And there's going to be a big difference between whether Biden is president or Trump is president. It also matters who controls Congress. And there are basically four scenarios. Biden gets reelected with a full Democratic Congress, pretty unlikely. Biden gets reelected with divided Congress. Trump gets elected with full Republican Congress and the full Trump agenda, or Trump gets elected with a divided Congress. And those, whichever of those scenarios we end up with is going to have a lot to do with what happens with the individual tax cuts that expire at the end of 2025. Just to remind people, the corporate tax cuts that Trump put in place in 2017, cutting the rate from 35% to 21%, that's permanent. Nothing changes about that unless Biden wins with Democrats and he's able to raise it, which he has already tried to do and been unable. But all of the individual tax cuts expire. So if Congress doesn't do anything about that, it's a de facto tax hike for most Americans.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, it can be inflationary as well. So people should definitely check out Rick Newman's byline and look at kind of the multitude of coverage that you've got coming for us. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.